Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us this afternoon. Our topic today, we're going to be talking about preparing for National Mentoring Month, which is fast approaching in January. Thank you everyone for muting yourselves. That really helps with reducing the background noise. We do want you to actively participate on the call today, so just please unmute yourself when you have something to add or to join in. We will start with introductions. And if you could say your name and the program that you're with, and then one fun thing that you do for National Mentoring Month, something you've done in a past year, something you're going to do this year that you're looking forward to, or that you enjoy. Okay, we'll just start at the top of the list here. Alyssa.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Alyssa. I'm the mentor coordinator for Community Youth Concepts. We have the Mentor Advantage program. This will be my first time doing something for National Mentoring Month, but we're thinking of doing social media appreciation posts for all of our mentors. So I'm working to try and get some of the mentees to respond to me with a picture and a fun story and like a note of appreciation for their mentor. And then we're going to kind of surprise them on social media. So then it's a good way for the mentor to kind of get surprised. And it's a good way for just people in the community to see the kinds of students that we engage in our mentoring program.
Awesome. That does sound like a lot of fun. Great way to recognize them. Okay, I think Anna typed in the chat for us. So with Everybody Wins Iowa, and they have, we have our students create thank you notes for our mentors. Thank you, Anna. Austin. Okay, looks like Austin's typing in our chat too. Or actually Annie, with Mentor Dubuque. First National Mentoring Month, we always hand out thank yous to all our mentors. Great, thank you. Bailey.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
We can.
Okay. I'm Bailey Cosmore with the Not Alone Youth Mentoring Program at Mills County Public Health. We have not done anything for National Mentoring Month yet, so I'm actually looking forward to this presentation to get some ideas of what we can be doing.
Wonderful. Well, you came to the right, the right place, Bailey. Thanks for sharing. Felicia.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
This is Felicia with YSS Mentoring. One fun thing that we were able to do last year was we received a donation from C's Candies. So we were able to give those as mentor gifts to all our mentors.
Cool. Awesome. Very fun. Thank you, Felicia. Hannah is going to be sharing some great information with us here in just a second. So I'm going to skip to Jamie.
Hi, I'm Jamie with Fun Friends Mentoring with New Opportunities out of, well, Sac City, but we cover a whole bunch of areas. So we, for National Mentoring Month, like to do like the My Mentor cards, and then we have our kiddos fill them out, and we kind of surprise our mentors with it. We have our kids fill them out either at the after-school program or at home, and then we like to give them to our mentors. It's kind of a surprise thing, and that's gone pretty well the past few times we've done that.
Great. Thanks, Jamie.
Yep.
Jessica. Jessica, can't hear you. Not sure if you're still muted.
Now can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, good. Sorry, we're having our carpets cleaned at work, so yeah.
That's what we heard before.
Jessica Prazak, I'm the coordinator of the one-on-one mentoring program that covers Cerro Gordo County. And we always try to do like a special, like a little kind of like a gift pack instead of like a date, like a mentor and mentee fun night. So we'll give them like a coupon to go to a restaurant, and then like a movie pass or roller skating pass, whatever they choose. So we try to get those out to everyone in January.
Great. Thanks, Jessica.
Yep.
Kaylin. Okay, we got a message. Kaylin, looks like Liz is here.
Mentor Dubuque as well.
Okay, so new to the program and looking forward to getting ideas for your first National Mentoring Month. Great, thanks, Liz.
Kim put something.
Kim? We might have got a chat from Kim too. Okay, yes, Kim with YSS Ballard Mentoring, and ditto as Felicia. And this is their 20th anniversary for mentoring. Wow, that's very exciting. Are you planning something special for that?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Well, I know that Felicia's on, my leader. And yes, we are. We're planning something, a celebration in April to go with our mentoring bingo night. So we're very excited.
Great. Thanks for sharing. Lynn.
Hello there.
Hello.
We've done a variety of things over the years, and some of it depends on what else we have just going on. But we've often used the opportunity to have all of our bigs and littles come to the high school basketball game and kind of have a present them to the public kind of thing with an announcement and have them walk out on the court. It usually happens between the games. And it just gives some recognition to the fact that Big Brothers Big Sisters is here, and that we've got great people that are volunteering with us and great kids that are benefiting. So that's one thing we have been pretty consistent on. We have done everything from have the littles write thank you notes to their bigs, to taking treats to the bigs where they work, to just a variety, and it just depends on how much extra time we have. But for the most part, I like to try and we have a radio program on Friday mornings where you can just plug away whatever situation or cause or anything that you'd like. So it's called Man on the Street. So I like to make sure that I talk about and the people that are there, I've asked them who their mentor has been in their life. And so kind of get some of those adults from the community, even the guy from the radio station, to talk a little bit about who mentored him and the benefits of that. And then talk about how each of us need to be able to recognize who those people are and say thank you. And then the other thing I know we have I'm drawing a blank now. My brain just went on to 14 other things instead. Sorry.
No, you shared lots of great ideas. Love the basketball game in the community and utilizing that local radio. That's great. Thank you, Len.
Yes, thanks.
Cheyenne.
Hi, everyone. It's Cheyenne with Club M Youth Mentoring in Burlington Community School District. This will actually be our community mentoring side's first National Mentoring Month. So I'm excited to get a few ideas what we could do there. But when I was in AmeriCorps for Club M, we did do cards for our peer mentors and our peer mentoring program.
Great. Thanks, Cheyenne. Val.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Last year I did something different since we have so many mentors from our area churches. I wrote small grants to Casey's, which is a gas station in this area, and Quick Star, and got free coupons for pizza, or not pizza, it was donuts. I got coupons for donuts and then beverages, so I could get milk, juice, and donuts, and I went to all the local churches for morning coffee. So it took me and a couple volunteers to go in and say thank you for donating your time to mentoring, and it brought awareness to the program and thank those that were part of that church. So that was really a big event last year. It was a lot of fun.
Wonderful. Great idea to utilize those local resources. Thanks. Great. Thank you, Val.
You bet.
Okay, hopefully I didn't miss anybody. Let me check my chat here real quick. Okay, wonderful. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. So today we are going to be going over a lot of the resources that we're going to be talking about are right on Mentor's website. They have released about 4 different toolkits, all for the preparation to have a great National Mentoring Month. So the link is right here, and you can also, if you want to go to their website, you could pull that up as well. But that's largely where the resources are coming from that we're going to be going over today. So we wanted to take some time for you to see what's there. Oops. Okay, so first we have Hannah Miller with Teammates is going to share some about how her program does digital engagement.
Well, hi everyone. I apologize ahead of time. I am in a hotel lobby because I'm traveling for work today, so I apologize if you hear any elevator music behind me. But thank you so much for listening to us. I'm Hannah Miller from the Teammates Mentoring Program. Right now I live in Omaha, but I'm originally from Waterloo, Iowa and Des Moines, so you guys are in my hood. I do marketing, communications, recruitment program-wide, social media, our speakers bureau, and I am an Omaha Public Schools mentor. Oops, I just tried to go to the next slide on my own computer.
I will do that for you.
Thank you, I appreciate it. So one of the big things we really try to do during National Mentoring Month is really tell our matches stories, because our matches just tell us the most amazing things that they have done together and how Teammates has shaped their lives. So I heard this quote once: storytelling reinforces the values we care about. And it really struck me, because that is how we not only spread awareness, but we recruit mentors as well, is by telling the wonderful stories that go on in Teammates. The next slide, please. Thank you. So why do we tell those stories? Well, they humanize the organization. They kind of take you away from that sales pitch. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky whenever you're out recruiting or out telling people about your program. You can kind of run into that sales pitch kind of feel. So whenever you do tell these stories, it kind of puts the listener in your shoes. And these stories of hope make the listener feel better about the future. And I think one of the greatest things the Mentor Digital Engagement Toolkit has are these great graphics, which we'll get into a little bit. But this one I have on the slide: 2/3 of Americans consider it highly important for young people to have mentors. It also has a match there. That's one of those statistics that really tells a story without telling a story. You know, it's a really great thing to have that on your social media site. We'll go to the next one. So the best thing you can do during National Mentoring Month is create a content calendar. Now, thankfully, Mentor has provided you within your digital engagement toolkit so many wonderful things, but this is an example of our content calendar. So for instance, every Monday is Mindset Monday. So we talk about growth mindset, or the idea that challenges are new opportunities to learn. So on this day, I would incorporate maybe one of the videos from Mentor from their National Mentoring Month Toolkit, or I would incorporate maybe a statistic just like that last one. Tuesday is our Activity Tuesday, so an activity a match can do. One great thing you can do here is maybe put a template to a thank you note, or show a picture of a student or a mentor holding the thank you note that they received for National Mentoring Month, and say, here's a great activity. Have your mentee write, or here's a letter your mentee can write, or have them write a thank you note to somebody within the program. Like for instance, with ours, since we're school-based, I would have, here's an activity, you can write a letter to your principal thanking them for having teammates. Wednesdays, we do strengths. So this is where we put something from our Jen and Millie podcast or a strengths blog. So if you do any podcasting or blogging, this is a great time to do it because of National Mentoring Month. So you can talk about those awesome statistics Mentor gives you. You can look at those videos. That's a great time to do that, and maybe interview some mentors who have gone above and beyond to do wonderful things. Thursdays is when we do our Teammates Plus and Study Tips and College Stories. So you could even do stories on mentees who have graduated from your program. Friday is our stories, so I do chapter and program updates. On Fridays during National Mentoring Month, this is when we will be posting a lot of the stuff from the Mentor Toolkit. So those statistic heavy pictures, those awesome videos. We will do some stories on matches all over the Midwest who are doing wonderful things. And then Beyond the Impact is our other podcast that we do as well. We'll go to the next one. So telling your story of hope, how can you get it started? So first of all, use the hashtags MentorIRL or hashtag National Mentoring Month. Use graphics, videos, or photos either from your organization or the Digital Engagement Toolkit. And now I really want to stress back up at those hashtags how important that is. I graduated from college in 2013. Back in my day, whenever you would use a hashtag, it would just be like hashtag so blessed. You know, you didn't really do anything with it. But now hashtags mean a big deal. So for instance, I do a lot of hashtag I love public schools. We want to use at least 10 to 15 hashtags on each Instagram post. And the reason for it is, so for instance, we use hashtag I love public schools. A lot of people all over the country look at that hashtag. So if somebody who normally looks at that hashtag were to click it, they could see not only our post, but it could also randomly pop up in their feed. So that's why you want to use those hashtags as much as possible. So I would do hashtag MentorIRL, hashtag National Mentoring Month, and any other ones. There are some awesome free things you can utilize that can make a whole bunch of hashtags for you or give you ideas on ones. One, for instance, is a platform called Later, which I highly recommend. I think I'll get to that here in a minute. Use some sample tweets provided in the Digital Engagement Toolkit. I know for me, sometimes coming up with a different tweet every day can be a little bit monotonous. So this is one that Mentor provides for you. So that's a great one you can use. And then track your progress using UTMs. And I'll show you that here on the next slide. So UTMs are a great way for you to see how your campaign worked during the month for your website. So for instance, what you do is you just Google UTM, and after you pass, University of Tennessee, it'll be right there. It's called Google Analytics Tractor. You type in, the first thing you put is your URL. So this is just if I wanted to track a specific time people went to visit our homepage of our website. So you just put in the URL. Your campaign source can be Google, newsletter. I just put teammates.org again. Campaign medium, let's say I want to track the people who click on this link from a specific email and from a specific social media post. I name it, so I just call it website. If I were naming it for National Mentoring Month, I would use the campaign name National Mentoring Month. Campaign term, I would do become a mentor or mentoring stories, and then campaign content, just so you can remember which one is which. I just put front page. So then instead of just typing teammates.org into your post, you copy and paste that link that's at the bottom. Now you can put it on bit.ly so it's not so big, and that's just the little like bit.ly that makes it tinier, but it'll still work. And so how you track that is whenever you post that to any social media post, what I would do is use it for the same one for every post you have during the month of January. Well, in February, you can go back into your Google Analytics, click campaigns, and you'll see how many people visited that link during that month. So it's kind of a way to really dial down and see, okay, this worked, like social media is working great for us, or maybe email's not working as great as it used to be. How can we bump it up? So tracking your progress is a great way to really make sure you are getting the most bang for your buck during National Mentoring Month. If you want to go to the next slide, please. Oh, and that's the end of me. So if anybody has any questions about National Mentoring Month, digital engagement, please let me know. We are doing a lot of stuff at Teammates regarding social media this time around, and especially using Mentor's awesome videos that they provided in the National Mentoring Month Toolkit.
Great, thank you so much, Hannah. Does anybody have any questions at this time? Okay, if you do, please, again, feel free to jump in and unmute yourself or to type in the chat box. Okay, so next we're going to hear from Betsy here at Volunteer Iowa with us.
Hi, everyone. I am the Communications and Engagement Officer here at Volunteer Iowa. So I think I joined one other call one time, but I just started in July. So if I'm unfamiliar to you, that's why. I'm still somewhat new. So thanks for having me. I just wanted to chat a little bit about the media toolkit that was provided by Mentor, which Nicole's going to pull up for you. They do provide a press release template for you, which makes it easy to just update and personalize for your local program. One thing that I always try to tell people in Iowa, to some extent, we have a little bit of advantage being rural, because a lot of times small town local newspapers and radio stations are looking for content, and it's quite likely, well, a lot of small towns you might even know who your like hometown editor or reporter is. So that one-on-one connection can be really helpful to just share the information about National Mentoring Month. And again, you can just use that press release as a template. The toolkit here gives you a pretty good checklist of things to do. I don't really have a whole lot to add to that, except again, use your personal connections if you have them, or if you have volunteers that want to do some outreach, that's always helpful too. For those of you that are maybe in a larger city, or you don't know who your local newspaper or radio station is, or you just can't find a way to email them or get the information to them, you can always email me, and I can try and look through my materials and see what I've got in terms of contact for you too. But my recommendation is, most importantly, to just update that press release for your local program, and then try and email it out to your local media outlets, mainly newspapers and radio. I love, Lynn, that you said that you have that local radio show where you can call in and they talk about things, and then that you also have your local newspaper do a story. So you can use that press release, or again, have a local reporter, especially in those small towns, come write a little story about you. So.
Do you have any recommendations about like timing, as far as how soon, if they're wanting a story to go in January, how soon they?
I would start, some of the, like, I'm from Lamoni, so if I was talking to the Lamoni paper, they just publish once a week, so I would probably give them a heads up, like in the middle of December. I would imagine a lot of the smaller newspapers are similar, so just give them a little bit of notice, but even if it's early January when you're talking to them, that would be acceptable too. If you're just sending out the press release, you could probably send it out. I would send it early in January, but if you are really wanting them to write a story or have a radio station come cover an event you're having or talk to some of your mentors and mentees, that takes a little bit more work. So I would start that probably in mid-December before everyone gets too caught up in the hubbub of the holidays.
This is Mary at the IMP, and I just wanted to add too, much like using your hashtags on social media to amplify your message, just really encourage you to mention that you're a program of the Iowa Mentoring Partnership, and it's also part of National Mentoring Month, just to show that you're part of this statewide network and this national mentoring movement too. And if you have any questions, or I know there are a lot of people here, this is their first National Mentoring Month, they were saying, so if you have questions about connecting with your local media, just reach out to us too, and we'll do what we can too, that, if we can be, as the Iowa Mentoring Partnership, we encourage you, that we could try to help make those connections for the local program. We're willing to do that as well.
And also, there's a kind of a good way to tie in your social media with your media outreach too, especially in those smaller communities. Well, even in some of the like mid-sized communities, if you know a reporter or the editor of the paper or radio or somebody that works at the radio station, just have them go look at your social media if you're doing a lot there to celebrate National Mentoring Month, because that's something they can kind of sort through themselves too and try to pull a story from as well that might be easier than you having to try and explain it all yourself or go track people down on your own too. So be sure to share with any reporters or media that you do, especially if you are having a very active social media campaign, that they can look to that to learn a little more about it if they want to know more.
Wonderful. So in this toolkit, there is, if you click on this red button for the press release, there's a template that has a whole script ready and just highlighted areas where you would plug in your own information. So again, Mentor has made that pretty easy for us to utilize that. And jumping back to what Hannah was talking about, here on the website are the 4 different toolkits. So Hannah had mentioned with the digital engagement toolkits, there are a bunch of graphics and images that are ready with messages that are all ready to be utilized and shared out. So this is where you will find those, as well as she mentioned some very engaging videos was another option on that page. Does anyone who has joined us on the call, Lynn already kind of shared how she has utilized the local radio in her area. Does anyone else want to share how they have engaged with the media in the past, or any plans that they have this year for that?
Hannah with Teammates again. One thing you can do, I used to work in news, and one thing that the news stations, for the most part, if you have a local TV station, is reach out to the morning or midday producer, and usually their emails are all on their websites. Ask if they have any openings for their morning or midday sit down, which is like a forum, where you go in for 2 minutes and talk about whatever you want to talk about. They're usually really open, especially in January. So that's a really good time to not only get some airtime, but get like 2 minutes all to yourself with an anchor who's going to talk to you about your specific program. So those are, make sure you I would email them in December and say, you got any openings in January? They're usually looking for them.
Great idea. Thanks, Hannah. Anybody else on the call, feel free to unmute yourself and chime in. Okay, so here you can see, so the logos and graphics that we just looked at with those really direct messages. They also have a lot of graphics that come straight from the Power of Relationships study. videos that are specific for National Mentoring Month, and then in real life videos and mentoring flipped videos as well. So definitely check all of those out. And then there's a whole bunch of different tweets that are all ready, like Hannah mentioned, that are written and ready that you can just copy and paste in there. So
I'd really encourage you to use that key messaging too, just for consistent messaging. And it's, I mean, that all comes from the Mentoring Effect and other studies and that Mentor has done. So really to use that. And again, that just really unifies our message and amplifies the voice across the state.
And it also makes it seem a little bit less daunting than having to come up with your own language.
Yeah,
So,
the hard work is already done for you.
You guys have a lot on your plates anyway.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you, Betsy. Next, we're going to hear from IMP's own Mary Shika.
So I'm going to cover the part about the public official and advocacy and that toolkit, which is the green button there on the website. And I just, if you want to just skip to the next slide, I just highlighted some of the ideas that they had on that toolkit. There is so much information on all these toolkits, so that's what we're trying to do is break this down a little bit for you. So one thing they talked about is having a proclamation from governors or other state legislative officials, and we always do a proclamation in the governor's office and invite everyone's welcome to come, but I know that's not feasible necessarily for programs at some distance, so a lot of local programs come, we try to have matches there too. But we will share that language from our proclamation. You're welcome to use that and just insert your local entity. And I know local programs have had success having a mayor create a proclamation or countywide to have like the Board of Supervisors do a proclamation. And Mentor in their toolkit also has proclamation language too. So let's back up. When they talk about public official advocacy and outreach, we talk about this a lot, and we get a lot of information from Mentor too about national advocacy, and we talk a lot about state advocacy. And I just want to remind you why. Think about these folks, first of all, they're real people, even though they're elected officials. And there's a lot of revenue that they're collecting, and it's going to go somewhere. So if you want to get to know them well, to help direct that towards mentoring, that would be a good start with funding, as well as policy. There's always a national agenda. Some policy items we're working on nationally for some funding and other support. State same, and you need to look locally too if there are some policy pieces such as release time for county employees or city employees to mentor, or if there are other policies that could benefit mentoring, look at that. And also these are champions in your community. So Hannah mentioned some other high profile champions you might engage, and you can think of others that aren't elected officials too that could do some of these same responsibilities too when we talk about local officials, just who is well known in your community and could be a champion. So ways to engage your local officials. They can share a story about their mentor. I think that's a way to engage any champion. Just have them start telling their own story. And again, they're real people. They want to talk about like who mentored them and got them to where they are today too. So have them share their story. And they're sharing these with hashtag Mentoring Month nationally. And then of course these could be folks to thank your mentor too, and use the hashtag Thank Your Mentor. Invite them to your Mentoring Month event. A lot of you are doing mentor recognition events, so ask them to come, and if it's something like handing out an award or something like that, or let them just come so they can see what's going on in your program and get to know a little bit about your program. So again, think who those local officials are that can have some influence in this area. It may be your Board of Supervisors. A lot of you get DCAP money. So is that with the local public health officials? I mean, think about who is holding purse strings and supporting mentoring in your community too. Beyond what we think of state legislators and our members of Congress. There's a link there when we send out the slides, engaging your members of Congress. That's okay. It's the link in the toolkit as well that goes to Mentors toolkit. They have a really great system for just sending a message to your member of Congress. So that we're talking about your senators and your representative, your congresspeople at the federal level. Sometimes we know our state legislators better because they're right there in our community, but members of Congress want to hear from you too. They want to know what's going on back in your district. They come back to their district and they want to have events at different places, agencies and organizations throughout their community. Offer that to them, invite them to come visit your program. That's a great way for them to learn more about mentoring. We're really excited that we have some mentoring program staff that are going to be going out to DC with us during National Mentoring Month, and we'll be educating our members of Congress out there. But all of you can do that locally by inviting them to an event, but also just sending them an email or just keeping it so you can keep them informed about what's going on with mentoring in their local community. One thing I forgot to put on here, but it's in the toolkit as well, is, and I mentioned the paid leave, just to note that state employees, which there are state employees that work in every county throughout Iowa, are currently can flex their time to volunteer at an organization in their community. And the governor has recently working on a policy for leave time so that state employees can volunteer, can have more hours dedicated to volunteering in the community. That's in the works about what that is going to look like particularly, but just know that right now those employees actually can flex their time and could volunteer with you, but there will be more coming about what the new policy looks like and how that might impact and benefit your mentoring programs. And last but not least, just want to remind everyone that we'll have Volunteer Iowa Day at the Capitol, which we encourage our mentoring programs all to participate in too, to come down here and to advocate for policies to support all the Volunteer Iowa programs, including the Iowa Mentoring Partnership, and just for state support for funding for mentoring programs too. So more will be coming on that. So questions about anything about advocacy and outreach? Or anybody want to tell us something they've done before? Because I know some of you, like I said, I know you've done local proclamations and had some success with engaging.
Well, this is Betsy. I'm just going to recommend or remind people that whenever you're doing an event, or if, like, for example, Lynn mentioning the high school basketball game and having the mentors and mentees, you know, that's a great time to take some photos that you can share out on social media too. That helps just add to your social media campaign for the month. So any opportunity you have to capture some photos or even video of somebody talking about their mentor, their mentee, or what they get out of mentoring, those are easy things to add to social media as well.
Okay, great. Thank you, Mary. Next, we're going to hear from Morgan, who's an AmeriCorps Vista member serving with the Iowa Mentoring Partnership. He's going to talk a little bit more about some more resources that are on the website. Do you want me to open that up?
Yes, thank you. So I'm going to start with, there are several events that are happening over the National Mentoring Month that are recognized on a national level that can be celebrated on social media. As seen on the screen, that these are some of the dates, such as January 8th being I Am a Mentor Day. So a day for volunteer mentors to celebrate their role and reflect on the ways mentees have enhanced their world. January 17th for International Mentoring Day, where you know, letting the international mentoring conversation happen over social media, being able to share photos, videos, messages that let international stories be told. Of course, you have Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day on January 20th, and just sharing some of the inspirational words of Martin Luther King Jr. To help elevate service through volunteerism.
And here's an example. If you click on for all of those days, there's a link and a graphic that is all ready for you to utilize and share.
And using those hashtags, Mentor IRL and the Mentoring Month. And then the last one is the hashtag Thank Your Mentor Day on the 30th, as well as coinciding with the National Mentoring Summit from January 29th to January 31st at the end of that month. So just kind of going back to the digital engagement that we talked about earlier in the peer share, using these events to kind of help so Lynn asked, do you have any specific hashtag you want to use for IMP? It is hashtag Iowa Mentoring. And so make sure you include that to get us. Also, you can also, if you're doing it through Facebook, do an @Iowa Mentoring, which will tag the Iowa Mentoring Partnerships website, our Facebook profile, in that conversation as well. So just kind of keep these events in mind and keep these hashtags in mind when you're doing your own digital engagement, because this will help you not only get your organization up to a national conversation as well, and show kind of what you're bringing to the mentoring table, as well as seeing what other programs across the nation are doing with their own programs that you could kind of collaborate with and help kind of use to further your own means.
That's something I love about, like, on Twitter. I don't follow all of mentoring programs from different states, but just when I follow Mentor National, then I get to see tweets pop up that they have liked or that they have retweeted, so that I'm learning about a mentoring program in a state that's far away from me that I wouldn't have otherwise. So especially on those days, if you're looking at some of those sites, or if you tag or mention mentor as well, then there'll be a whole large amount of content to look at with the same theme.
Mm-hmm. I encourage you for Thank Your Mentor Day. You'll see those popping up on Mentor this month for Thanksgiving month. And then also for the Thank Your Mentor Day, there's a sign that you can use. And it's an easy thing to have your mentees do. Hold up a sign, or you can have adults too. It doesn't have to be folks that are in your, it doesn't have to be just mentees in your program, but hashtag Thank Your Mentor, and they can write something about their mentor that they taught them, or name their mentor and take a picture with them, and that's easy social media posts. And again, it joins that larger conversation.
And that is up on our Facebook page as one of our activities, with just a standard My Mentor and the hashtag Thank Your Mentor graphic. You can just print that out and have them write with a marker of how my mentor has affected their life and share that. You can also, Mentor also has a link to let you share your story over, basically to them. You basically would just put your name and your email and then upload your story for mentoring. And it can be either a Word document, a PDF. You could upload a video or photos, pretty much whatever sort of media you're wanting to provide them. There are some limitations on what they support. However, just like a short little 5-minute video can be uploaded to it that will be brought to Mentor, and then they will basically put that on the national stage.
I know one of our programs has already shared a really awesome story to this, and I just really appreciate that, because we have a lot of great, powerful mentoring work going on in Iowa, and love to elevate that to the national level as well.
Definitely.
Great. Thank you, Morgan. Okay, does anybody else have any questions or plans now that you've heard some more ideas that you want to share out?
Or ask any questions to clarify anything that we've talked about. There's a lot of information we shared.
Definitely.
Hello,
Mary.
it's me.
Mary, this is Val Maximovich in Independence.
Yeah, hi, Val.
Hi. I just thought you might want to share out a reminder about the November 19th deadline for getting your certificates ordered.
You're a step ahead of us. We're getting there, Val. Yes.
Okay. That's
So
good.
we'll just share that right now. Thank you. The governor's certificates to recognize your mentors. That was in the last newsletter, and just send the Excel that's there, fill it out, just follow the directions so that, get it in by November 19th so that we have time to get this all processed and back out to you by January. Make sure you follow the directions or else your certificates will not look the way you want them to look. And make sure you give me your mailing address so they get to the right place too. It's all there in the Excel. Thanks for that reminder, Val.
Okay, this is Lynn.
Go,
Question.
Lynn.
Yeah, question. Hey, so I have some technological limitations. So can I contact Morgan for some help with some of that?
Oh, definitely.
You know, the social medias, the extra stuff for social media things.
Yeah.
I just have great limitations and I blame it on my age, so.
Lynn, thank you for putting that out there because you're not the only one on this call that would probably have more questions that they might not want to ask in front of everyone, but yes, reach out. Yes.
Thank you.
I never have a problem with being contacted for questions regarding that matter, so.
Well, I
Feel free.
figured that's why you were there, so good.
Yep.
Okay, great. Well, thank you all so much. We are definitely looking forward to National Mentoring Month and seeing some great stories out there. And like Morgan had said, and Mary and Betsy mentioned, please, if you do have any questions or you, start to put some plans in place and get going on something and realize you want to talk to someone or ask some questions, don't hesitate to reach out.
Even if it's something as simple as you've drafted a letter to the editor and you just want somebody to proofread it, like feel free to send it our way.
Definitely. If you have something that you're wanting to run past for like social media, drop me a line, you can send me an email and I will look it over and we can talk it out.
Great. So December, we don't have a peer share call. So our next peer share call will be January 9th.
Think of us as we move to our new location in December. That's all we can manage. We don't know if we're going to have technology to have a peer share call, but we'll regroup in January.
Okay, great. Thank you. And have a great afternoon.
Thank you.